Hey there, imagine paying $10 for a simple meal. Now guess how much of that actually goes to the farmer who grew the food? Not half, not even close. In many cases, it's less than $1. That's right, the person who planted, watered, harvested, and sweated for your salad or sandwich. They're making pennies on your dollar while everyone else is feasting on the profits. So, where does the rest go? Are we just tipping restaurant servers into the stratosphere, or is there a whole behind-the-scenes network taking slices out of your food dollar? And more importantly, is the system broken, or is this just how it works? How did we get to the point where the person at the very start of this chain, arguably the most important, ends up with the smallest reward? Today, we're breaking down the food value chain and exposing exactly why farmers end up with the smallest slice of the pie. If you've ever thought farmers should be the richest people in the food system, you're not wrong. They do the hardest work, take the biggest risks, and produce the most essential part of the product. But somehow, they earn the least. Let's unpack this step by step. Alright, let's start at the beginning. The journey of your food from farm to plate. Picture this, your tomato doesn't just jump from a farm and land on your pizza, there's a whole relay race happening behind the scenes. Step 1. The farmer seeds, waters, and harvests. That's the agricultural phase. But the second that tomato leaves the farm, it enters an entirely new world. Enter the middlemen, the processors, the truckers, the distributors. Next, it's cleaned, sorted, maybe canned, or bottled. It gets boxed up, stacked on pallets, loaded onto trucks, and shipped across the country, or the world. Then, it arrives at a grocery chain or a restaurant where it's priced, shelved, and sold to you. At every step, value is added, but also, costs. Each link in the chain takes their cut and adds their markup. Think about it, the farmer is only involved right at the beginning. Once the produce leaves their hands, everyone else in the chain gets to add value, and, more importantly, capture value. By the time your tomato is diced on your $10 pizza, the farmer's role is a distant memory, and so is most of their money. It's like a relay race where the first runner does all the uphill work, then everyone else jogs downhill to the finish line and takes home the medals. The further you get from the farm, the fancier the packaging, the higher the markup, and the smaller the farmer's share becomes. So, let's break down that $10 meal. You'd think the person who grew the food would get a significant chunk, right? But in reality, the farmer often gets just 7 to 10 cents for every dollar you spend. That's less than the tax on your fries. So where does the rest go? Let's follow the money. A huge chunk goes into processing, turning raw tomatoes into sauce, wheat into bread. Then you have packaging, transporting, and warehousing. Each of these steps adds cost, but also profit for the businesses involved. By the time your food hits the shelf or your local restaurant, retail and food service take the biggest bite. They set the final price, and their margins dwarf what the farmer ever saw. And this isn't just in America. Globally, the same story repeats. The more complex and processed the food gets, the less you see farmers in the equation, and the more you pay for marketing, branding, convenience, and ambiance instead. It's like buying a concert ticket and realizing the band only gets a few bucks. The real winners are the promoters, the venue, and the people selling the t-shirts. The farmer is the opening act, and everyone else is the headliner. So, why do farmers end up with so little? First, perishability. Crops and dairy can't just hang out in a warehouse like iPhones. When it's time to harvest, it's go time. Sell it or lose it. That means farmers have to accept whatever price is on the table. No time to wait for a better deal. Second, bargaining power. Most farmers are small operations negotiating with massive buyers, supermarkets, food giants, or wholesalers. That's like your neighborhood lemonade stand trying to set prices with Coca-Cola. When you're tiny and they're huge, you don't set the terms. They do. Third, lack of market control. Farmers can't control the weather, global prices, or shifts in demand. One drought, one bumper harvest in another country, or one trade policy change, and prices crash. Meanwhile, processors and retailers can hedge, diversify, and pass costs on to customers. So, when you look at the food system, the people doing the most unpredictable, physically demanding labor have the least say in what they earn. It's not just unfair, it's structurally designed that way. Let's talk about middlemen. Everyone loves to blame them, but why do they exist? Middlemen, traders, brokers, distributors, are there because they solve logistical headaches. They aggregate crops from lots of small farms, transport them, and deliver bulk quantities to processors and retailers. But here's the catch. Each layer adds complexity and takes a cut. The more hands your food passes through, the less traceable the money becomes. Transparency drops. Farmers often don't know the final sale price of their own crops. Middlemen negotiate deals that maximize their own profit, not the farmers. And in many countries, especially in developing markets, there are multiple layers of middlemen. Each one slices a little bit off the value. So by the time the product reaches the consumer, the farmer's share is microscopic. It's like sending a package through 10 postal services, and each one takes out a handling fee. By the time it arrives, there's barely anything left inside the box. Except, in this case, the box is your food dollar, and the farmer is left with the crumbs. If this system is so unfair, why does it stick around? First, consumer demand. We want food that's cheap, convenient, and available year-round. That means a system built for speed, scale, and efficiency, not fairness. Second, business investment. Big processors, logistics firms, and retailers have invested billions in infrastructure. Factories, trucks, cold storage. They're not giving up their slice of the pie without a fight. The system is designed around their needs, not the farmers. Third, infrastructure and risk. Someone has to handle storage, transport, spoilage, and quality control. Middlemen and big companies take on these risks, and they charge for it. Farmers can't afford to build warehouses or ship goods across continents. Finally, risk shifting. The system cleverly pushes risk downstream, towards the farmer. If prices collapse, the farmer takes the hit. If consumers balk at high prices, the retailer just squeezes the farmer harder. The rest of the chain stays cushioned. So, as much as we want to blame greedy corporations, the reality is, the system is optimized for efficiency and profit, not for the well-being of the people at the very start. So, can we fix this? There are solutions, at least on paper. Direct-to-consumer models like farmers' markets and community-supported agriculture cut out some middlemen and boost farmer income, but they're tiny compared to the massive scale of the global food system. Cooperatives give farmers more bargaining power, letting them pool resources and negotiate better deals. Tech platforms are trying to connect farmers directly with buyers, increasing transparency. But scaling these solutions is hard. Most small farmers lack the time, money, or infrastructure to participate. Government policies can help, subsidies, price supports, and fair trade standards, but these require political will, global coordination, and constant vigilance to make sure they actually reach the people who need them. And finally, as consumers, we can support local farms, pay more for ethical products, and demand transparency. But until the entire system changes, until we value the farmer as much as the final product, the balance will stay tipped. Changing the system isn't impossible, but it's going to take more than just good intentions. Next time you buy food, remember this. The price you pay isn't just for the food, it's for the entire system behind it. And right now, the person who starts that system gets the smallest reward. It's not just a statistic, it's a signal about what and who we value in our society. So, the next time you bite into that $10 meal, think about the journey it took to get to you, and who might be missing out on the real value. We need a food system that doesn't just feed us, but also rewards the people who put in the hardest work. If you found this useful, subscribe, because we're breaking down how the global food system really works, one layer at a time. And trust me, once you see behind the curtain, you'll never look at your food or your food dollar the same way again.